let me just speak to you for a few moments. I entitled my little talk, Jobs Without People and People Without Jobs. And that is significant. Let me just lay a few definitions. We have been talking a lot about global supply chain logistics. And still many people have some challenges with the expressions. But a global supply chain is a network of trading partners. You can be not defined by geographical boundaries. You can be anywhere in the world. And logistics is a glue that holds them together. So logistics is everything that do with transportation, storage, movement of information. Think of two people on two different islands. How do you get goods or services across that space? You have to start with information. So information is a critical part of logistics, and then it holds everything in between. Let me also say, warehousing in itself is a bad word in logistics, because logistics tries to minimize warehousing. So whenever you get goods in warehouse, you have to add value or do something to it. That is the definition. Next one. Many of us in here for years have been in the shipping industry. But might I say, there's no longer a true shipping industry. Because shipping is just one node on the logistics chain. So we have to open our minds. The traditional industry of the shipping industry is now expanding, now integrating with the airlines and so on. And thank you, Sir CJ. Excellent presentation. All right. Let's get into the meat of the matter. Many of us sometimes, we find ourselves in one side of the boat. There's a hole in the boat. Not because it's not on your side. We're all sinking. We have to do what we do best in Jamaica. We have to start sprint. We have a job to do, and we don't have the luxury of time. The Logistics Hub is a global project, and the Logistics Hub is a concept. Many people are asking, where is the Logistics Hub going to be? It's a concept of multiple special economic zones. There's a skill mismatch in Jamaica. No wonder we said jobs without people and people without jobs. And this is a quotation from the BBC about England, the UK rather. Doesn't this look like us? The country is in need of engineers, health workers, and skilled tradespeople. Yet tens of thousands of students continue to pursue degrees in the arts and humanities. This is a quotation. No, I didn't say this. Don't curse before it, right? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the world have changed. Globalization means you no longer have a regional, we used to talk about local, regional, and global. When you step out your front door in the global market now, the regional is now integrated into the global. Social networking have changed the way we do business. When you look at Google, every minute of the day receiving over 2 million searches. Instagram, over 3,126 photo uploads. And you look at the rest, it's all there. Social networking have changed the way we do business. 2 months ago, I met a young lady on a plane. And I asked her, she said she's the chief listening officer for a major company. I said, excuse me, madam, I don't mean to be fast, but what you do, you're fast in people's business. She said, well, my job is to monitor the social networks, right? Monitor the social networks and listen to what the customers are saying. Many of us will love our website, not true? Because nobody can just come in by your website, but the Twitter and Facebook page, you don't want it. You want to disassociate yourself from it, not true? But guess what? This is the way the world is going. Before you buy a product now, you go and you look online what the reviews from the other. Don't buy them to thief, then are no service, not true? And you hear all of these things. So social networking have transformed the way we do business. On average, it takes 90 minutes to answer an email, but 90 seconds a text message. Those of us who hug up the BB, not true, the BlackBerry, them are going to software on this. You can